Second chances and fresh starts can be really valuable to people, and they can come in different forms. So today I want to talk about second chances, but in a specific sense. This concept came to me first watching the Netflix show Dark Matter, and I'm gonna spoil some things here, so just a forewarning. If you don't want Dark Matter spoiled and you don't want the other thing I'm going to talk about spoiled, then stop watching this and go watch them first. Or if you don't care, then just keep watching. But so Dark Matter is a show on Netflix, and the throughout the first season, we meet these 6 characters, and then we eventually find out that they were all, I believe, sort of like trained assassins, or like they all had like dark pasts. Basically, they don't know this though. They wake up and they have no memory. So these 6 people, they just wake up like, I'm not sure who I am. I don't know how I got here. I don't know who I am and what my history is. And they just have to start from scratch. They have to create like a new moral code for themselves. And this really intrigued me because it comes to this question of, is it innately in human nature for us to be empathetic and kind of like care about other people and want to do quote unquote the right thing? And a lot of times it's sort of portrayed that way. And this show kind of does a similar thing where when they don't remember who they were or what their past was, and they're not tethered to that identity and to that baggage anymore, they kind of become these new, better people. They start fresh and they go against whatever instincts they would have had trained before. And then they start to find out their various backgrounds and their histories and what they come from. And I know at least one of them was like an assassin or like killed a lot of people. And when they find this out, it obviously shakes them because I don't remember if they remember once they find out, or if they find out and they're just like, I don't like that. I don't like who I was. I don't want to be that person anymore. So I thought that was really fascinating to look at how they got this fresh start. Their memory was wiped, so they didn't know who they were and what they had done, and they were no longer tethered to those choices and that past, and they could start truly fresh and become the people that they wanted to become now, or that they were inclined to become now. And so I just also watched a movie called Unknown, which is currently on Netflix as of this recording. I don't think it's exclusive to Netflix, but it's a Liam Neeson vehicle. And again, if you don't want the movie spoiled, then don't keep watching. But so it turns out the plot of this movie, you don't find this out until, I'd say probably like about 3/4 of the way through. You find out that Liam Neeson's character ends up in a car accident and completely loses his memory. He remembers his name and that he has a wife and that he was supposed to be speaking at this conference or something. He kind of gets like framed of like there's this person impersonating him, and he doesn't remember why. Like he ends up discovering this kind of conspiracy. Like he had planned to assassinate somebody, and he didn't believe it at first, but then it's revealed that it was true. And so he's been, from the time that his memory, he wakes up from his coma and his memory is kind of like shot. And then he spends a few days, again, trying to like figure it out, trying to recover his identity and trying to help certain people. Like he kind of befriends this woman. I think her name was Nina, or Gina, excuse me, something like that. And so they kind of end up becoming friends, and he meets this other guy who turns out to be an old Russian spy or an old German spy. And this guy is good at like helping people find figure out their past, and kind of like a private detective. And so between this woman and this old spy guy, he ends up figuring out that, oh yeah, he was a trained assassin, and that's what he was there for. But when he figures this out, he's already several days into trying to help people and trying to do better. And he doesn't want to hurt someone. And then ultimately, once he realizes what the assassination plot was, he doesn't want to go through with it anymore. And he actually stops the person who kind of replaced him or took his place, stops them from actually finishing the mission. So that just reminded me again from Dark Matter of how these people, they had their memories erased, and then you give them enough time to start fresh and to make new moral decisions, as this new person without that baggage and without that history, and they ultimately end up wanting to be a better person and trying to do better. And I thought that was really interesting because that sort of plot line I don't think comes up very, very often. Like memory loss is kind of common, but I don't feel like it's super often that it's that kind of thing where they had like a really dark past, or they were like really bad people, and then they become this good person. And it just kind of makes me wonder how many people may be out there right now, because I think of like the prison populations, and a lot of people who are in prison should not be there for a variety of reasons. Prisons shouldn't really exist, and that's a topic for a whole different video. For-profit prisons certainly should not exist, but it just made me wonder, of the people out there who would maybe be classified as violent criminals, what if their memories were wiped and they got to start fresh, and they got, like a week or a few weeks, or like an extended period of time to, again, because I mean, this is fiction. The show and this movie are fiction. They're fantasy, but it makes me curious in reality. And I'd have to look into this and see if people may be coming out of comas, if this is kind of a thing or not. But it's interesting to me to think about that, of getting that sort of second chance, of not being tethered to your dark past anymore, and being able to choose a new, like you don't know. So as far as you know, that this is just who you are and what your values are, and you do the right thing, and you want to help people, and if you find out, again, metaphorically, the character, you find out that you were supposed to do something that you know now is like, no, that's wrong, that's bad, I should not do that, or I don't want to do that anymore. And I like that idea because, second chances and fresh starts can be really valuable to people, and they can come in different forms. This is obviously kind of a more extreme form, or extreme version, but it's just, yeah, it's interesting to me, and it makes me think, like, because also for those of us who maybe don't have a super dark past, but we do have things that we regret. We've hurt people. We've maybe, broken laws that we wish we hadn't broken, or, lied or cheated or stole or whatever. And, I think that we have to make this choice of, when you kind of have this history, do you want to break that pattern, break that cycle? And even if you have a reputation, or you, like, whether it's other people have a reputation of you or you have it of yourself, can you choose to just say, no, this is the right thing, this is what I want to do, this is what I should do, and start, again, stepping in the right direction? And you'll still have that history, but over time, if you keep doing the right things, then it'll kind of balance out, and eventually the good will outweigh the bad. And you can kind of potentially rewrite your story. And that's a really cool thing. And I just wonder how many people out there, because I know there's this problem with the mindset of a fixed mindset, and some people just, they just think that they are who they are. And once you've made mistakes, some people, not everyone thinks this, but some people think once you've made mistakes, or once you've hurt someone, or, you've done things that you regret, that you can never fully make up for that you're always going to be burned by that. And, some people just kind of like, they resign themselves to it, and they just kind of like lean into it. But I think that we do have that choice, and I hope that people, maybe from watching this video, will consider that a little bit more, and think maybe how in their life can they maybe push back against negative self-views, or a bad reputation, and do more of the right thing, do more of the moral thing, or the ethical thing, or whatever, and be the best person that they think they can be for the good of the world. Just something to think about. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and that you learned something. Please be sure to like and subscribe so you'll be able to catch my next video as soon as it comes out. And if you want to see more from me, head over to artemiscreates.com, or subscribe at patreon.com/artemiscreates for bonus content. Stay curious, and see you next time.